Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time visiting me, my name is Robin. I garden in Northwest Connecticut in Zone 6. I have a lot to accomplish today. If you're a subscriber already, thank you so much for your support. So I'm not even sure where to start today. There's tulips, there's daffodils, there's dahlias. There's things to get cut down. Obviously, I can't get everything done in one day. The crazy thing is that we've had a couple nights of real freezes. So the dahlias are gone. I've started to dig them because they're just gone, and I have so much to do. I can't wait a couple weeks to dig them out. So I'm going to show you some of that. I'm going to show you how to dig dahlias because I still have some, even though I'm sure there are a million other people who are doing the same thing on YouTube. I'll just show you what I do. There's so many different ways of doing things. Tulips, I'm going to have a combination of things in the ground and things in containers, so we'll try to get to that today. So let me show you where I'm at the moment and what I'm thinking. This is my little hoop house. So you can see that I have already actually started to dig some dahlias. They're all tagged. So I like to use this flagging tape. You can see right here, to label my dahlias, even though they also all have tags. I like to label them and before they go into storage. So let's talk a little bit about what you're going to do. So ideally you want to dig the dahlias before the ground is actually frozen, but after you've had a frost. So you're going to lift them and store them. I'll show you, I use a pitchfork always, so the soil kind of falls away from that area. I wouldn't use a shovel because it's even easier than with a pitchfork to actually pierce the tubers, and you don't want to do that. The other thing you'll need is some clippers or loppers to cut the stalk off. Like I said, I use flagging tape to label, and then I'm going to put them, I'll show you how I'm going to store them in a bulb crate. So you're going to cut them back, you're going to leave a few inches of stalk, lift and label your clumps. Dahlias increase every year. Like I said, put the pitchfork far enough away, and I'll show you this, so you don't break the tubers, and gently lift them out. They're a great return on investment because, you plant one tuber and you get a whole clump. And then get them into storage ASAP. These have already been drying for a couple days. I'm going to brush some of the dirt off. I am not going to wash them. I've washed them every year in the past, and it has not worked for me. I'm going to try this method this year. I'm not going to wash them. I'm going to put them in crates with burlap wrapped around the crate, and then I'm going to put vermiculite around them. So we'll see. If you're dividing them now, you're going to want to wash them, of course. But if not, you can leave the dirt on. Let them dry in the garage or somewhere where they won't freeze. So to be viable for next year, each tuber that you're going to use will have to have an eye. You do not have to divide your dahlias. You could leave a clump. Let me just show you an example here. All right, so I have a couple that are very small, okay? There's the one main tuber, and then I have two others. I will just replant this whole thing. I wouldn't be trying to divide this. This was Mystique. So, but you can then, bigger clumps, you might split in half. I had a lot of vole damage this year, so a lot of my dahlias, the clumps, frankly, are not in great shape. I'm going to dry them, put them in storage, and see what survives the winter, frankly. So I'm going to leave most of mine. I have a couple that are bigger, but most of them I'm just going to leave. I'm actually not even going to divide them. Like I said, I'm going to store them in vermiculite. You could use peat moss. You could use wood shavings, just something so they don't shrivel. You can label each one with a marker instead of using the tape. It's totally up to you. There are so many different ways of storing dahlias, and you'll see and hear a million people talking about it a thousand different ways. I've heard of the saran wrap method, which is great if you're using individual tubers. You're dividing them now, you wrap them in saran wrap, and I've heard that works great for a lot of people. Where are you going to store your dahlias? This has been my problem. My basement is not really cold enough My garage is not really cold enough. They really want to be like around, not above 50 degrees, but not below 40 degrees. And they want some humidity, like 40 to 50%. Typically, my garage doesn't get down, oh, really, more than about 55 degrees. So let's get started, and let me show you some other things. Let me show you about the tulips. So let's go. For the tulips, I'm going to be storing the tulips in my hoop house here, unless it gets incredibly cold. So what I'm trying to do with the plants, with the tulips, that I'm not just putting in plastic pots, because what I'm gonna try to do with some of the bigger containers is I'm putting the tulips in plastic pots that will fit inside these containers. That way, if I need to move these into the garage because it's too cold in here at some point, like there are winters where we get, 10 below zero. It's not often, but we do. I mean, with climate change, you never know anymore. So I don't want my husband to have to be taking huge containers to the garage. He'll kill me. So I am going to put plastic pot. I'm going to plant in the plastic pots so we can lift these right out, but I'll know what's going in where come spring because I know where I'll put the containers. Okay, let me go show you what's inside. So this is my setup for the winter. I've got my seed starting stuff over here. I've got my little table so I can do videos looking this way. So I have pots scattered all over here with the tulips that are going in containers, all set to go. I just have to get to it. It's supposed to be 70 degrees this weekend. It's like, this is crazy. Like, it's so confusing. So again, here's a ceramic pot. I'm going to plant tulips in a plastic pot because I can't leave this outside. It'll break. So I'm going to plant in that. Then I have some lasagna planting I'm going to do. I'm also at the bottom of these containers, besides like maybe some landscape fabric and some old crock pieces to cover the hole so I don't block any drainage. I saw a neat trick and I'm going to try it. I've been collecting like onion bags and bags from my neighbors and stuff. And I'm going to put that in the bottom to hopefully keep the voles or chipmunks or moles or whatever, hopefully keep the critters out of the containers. Now, the hoop house, we've put down like a floor. So again, hopefully that will help keep critters out. I'll probably put down some repellent, and I'll have to just keep checking it and fingers crossed. I mean, this is, you start buying 1,000 tulips or bulbs. I have alliums, I have daffodils, I have fritillaria, and I have tulips. You start buying 1,000, you're starting to spend a lot of money. And, it's heartbreaking enough when, a squirrel, a rabbit, or a vole or mole destroys a perennial. That's bad enough. You work really hard, things just start growing, and then poof, you come out the next day and it's gone. That's happened to me with my Rumex a couple times. 1,000 bulbs, I don't want to be losing tons and tons of bulbs. So I'm going to do the best I can to try to do that. So that's tulips. What I'm going to be doing for the dahlias is I have a bulb crate. I have some, I have some burlap. I'm going to be wrapping this crate, and then I'm going to fill it with vermiculite. You're not going to have the dahlias touching one another. I'm going to layer them up. And I have a bunch of crates. These are just some collapsible ones. I bought them right off Amazon. So if you don't have a bulb crate, just use anything else. You can also use cardboard boxes. I have a ton of cardboard boxes piled here that I've been saving that bulbs have come in. Not all bulbs come in crates. So they're boxes that have air holes in them. So I'm going to try that. Like I said, I've got a lot of planting to do. So let's see what we can get done today. And I'll show you how I'm going to dig the dahlias. I'm going to try and use the auger. I use a power planter auger. I believe it's the 9-inch one to plant the holes. That's how we did it the other day. the hole is probably big enough. It depends on the size of the bulb. Some of these bulbs, this is one called Copper Image. This is a pretty small tulip bulb. Some of the bulbs, here's Menton. This is actually quite a bit bigger bulb. So it depends how many bulbs, what the size of your bulbs is, how many you're actually going to get in a hole when you're using an auger. I can get usually at least 5. The other day, I think I got like 8 or 10 in one of the holes that we dug. It just depends, I think, how loose the ground is, how much you can open up the soil. Again, put them close together, but don't touch them. All right, let's get going. I'm going to take my mic off because otherwise it won't last. And I'll show you. Before I go do the dahlias, digging dahlias, I've got a canna here, toucan coral, and I've got an elephant ears. The elephant ears are going to stay in the pot. You just cut them back. The cannas can just go in a plastic bag like 40 to 50 degrees over the winter. Leave some of the dirt, help protect the tuber. So I'm just going to cut these back while I'm here. Now I have another canna right here, and I'm going to just cut it while I'm here, even though actually I may not. It looks like it's still blooming. Oh God, that still looks like a stalk. That's crazy. That one looks, oh my God, I actually think I still have, I do. I guess I'm going to leave this. Wow. Yeah, I decided I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave those because they actually have flowers coming up. And like I said, it's supposed to be 70 degrees this weekend. It's crazy. So here's a close-up. You can see I have the tubers as cleaned up as possible there. I didn't want to wash them, but you're going to lay them. In my case, I use vermiculite. I wrap the container in burlap. The tubers should not be touching. Then I close the burlap up on all four sides. And finally, I'm going to try a trick that I haven't used before. I am storing mine in the garage for now. Typically, it doesn't get below 55. I have a thermometer right above where I'm storing them. And I'm going to try, I think I saw a tip somewhere to try putting a big plastic bag around them, but don't close the bag, will help maybe with some moisture. So I'm going to try that and see if that works. I still have more dahlias to dig up, but they're still growing, so I'm going to wait, I guess. Okay, so you can see I have 5 Belle Epoque tulips in this hole, pointy side up, about 6 inches deep, because they're going to get covered with some mulch also. I've put down some vole and mole repellent, and I've put in some bulb toad. So let's get the rest of these planted. All right, so La Belle Epoque is planted. I found some old bulbs in there that was French Blend Rose and Queen of Night. I'm just pulling where I'm finding old bulbs. I use my tulips as annuals. So if I find tulips bulbs laying there, or when I dig the holes, I'm just throwing them out. Next task is elephant ears. I'm not gonna go through every single tulip that I'm planting. That would be kind of crazy. You don't want to sit and watch me do that. So I'm trying to go through each thing that's different. So elephant ears. These have obviously been in the ground, so we're going to cut off most of the leaves, bring them inside. Technically, it was supposed to be before frost, but it's been so warm, they're still growing. It's kind of crazy. And when they're planted in the ground, after you cut the foliage back, you need to dig up the tuber and plant it in a container for the winter. I'm not sure how this is going to work. I mean, I have a million containers because I save all my containers that I get during the year. But let's see if we can get these out of the ground. In case you can't tell, it's really warm out today and I am sweating. So let's try to see if we can get these out. I'm not even sure where to start, to tell you the honest truth. These are pretty ginormous. Don't mind my back, please. So these are just elephant ears that I picked up. I'm not even sure where I picked these up. I might have picked them up even at Home Depot. I'm always surprised how many people I see buy things from Home Depot and Lowe's. I'm very particular about if I buy something from them. It's usually because it was marked down, and then you have kind of nothing to lose if it doesn't make it. I find a lot of those kinds of places, they're not great about caring for their plants. There are a lot of times you go there in the summer, the plants are seriously wilted because nobody's watered them. So let's see if we can get any of these out. I'm not sure how deep the roots are here. All right, let's just tackle this and see if there's any way I can get these out myself. If not, I'm going to have to wait for my husband to help me. This rock wall is actually not very deep. I mean, as far as the dirt layer goes. I think it's more about separating the roots here from the dirt. I'm always worried when I'm leaning up against this wall that a snake's going to come out. I don't mind snakes. My husband hates snakes. But I don't really want to lean over and have one on me either. Okay. That was easier than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Now, they're supposed to be replanted. Wow. If I have to plant all 5 of these, I'm going to have to look for containers. So let's, wow. Holy mackerel. That was one. There was one when I planted this. Here it is right here. You can see how much that produced. So let's see if we can get another one out. Okay, I got this one out. Oh, again, I didn't bother with that. That wasn't pretty, so I turned the camera off. Ugh, gross. Oh, there's nastiness in there. Oh, gross. Ugh. Oh, Lord. All right, that's done. Next, oh, disgusting. All right, next, let's do some bulb planting, lasagna bulb planting in pots. Now, okay. So let me just tell you. So I don't know about you, but I keep a book every season of exactly what I'm doing. What worked, what didn't work, notes. I don't think any gardener knows everything about anything, and there are a lot of different ways to do different things. I like to keep track of all that stuff. What did I plant? What time did it bloom? Do I like where I planted it? Make a note if I want to move it. So I keep all that in books, and I have them going back for, oh my God, I can't even tell you least 10 years, probably more. So if I'm looking for information on how did that plant do, or did I like that plant? You know, I moved here 7 years ago. So, you know, things on this property are going to grow different than they did on another property. But just a small aside. So let's go get some dirt and let's do some lasagna planting, and I'll talk about that. Okay, so we're going to plant 2 lasagna type styles. So first thing I'm going to do is I got these net bags that I just mentioned. I'm going to put that on the bottom. I'm hoping I'm hoping that that's going to keep the critters out. Got some pieces of broken pots. I'm just going to cover the holes a little bit so we don't have all our dirt going out. I'm actually going to put some mole and gopher bait right in the bottom before I put any dirt in. Then I'm going to fill this container about halfway. Now, what is a lasagna planting? You've probably seen a million people do it. You don't have to do different kinds of bulbs. And you don't have to do bulbs that bloom at different times. You can do a variety of bulbs. You could do 3 different types of daffodils. You could do, you know, one kind. You could do a bunch of different tulips. All right. So what I've decided to try is I'm going to do, and I'll pop the what they look like up on the screen. So French blend rose is my tulip. My daffodil layer, I'm going to do these with 3 different kinds. This is Thalia. It's a really pretty white one. And I picked up some Iris Reticulates. These are early spring, pretty blue. So the first layer to go in is the tulips. Let's see if we can open that without knotting that. Probably not. Normally you just pull the string and it opens. But I think I've screwed this one up. All right, so I have the most tulips of French blend rose. This is from Color Blends. I planted it last year. I absolutely love this. So let's see how many we can fit in here. So we're going to plant, and I'll pick the camera up in a minute and show you. Again, there's a growing side and a growing point. I mean, a root point and a growing point. The point goes up. You're going to put these, you know, relatively close together. Again, I have 100 of these tulips, so I have plenty for these containers and plenty to put in the ground. So I'm going to put these around the outside. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Got 10 here. This is a pretty big container. I think I'm going to pop a couple more. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to do 15. Okay. Then I'm going to cover this layer. So you want to make sure, oh, actually first, before I do that, let's put in some bulb tone. Let's put in some, I'm trying to be good about keeping my gloves on. I'm really bad, but it destroys my nails when I don't. Okay. We're going to cover these. So tulips want to be like, you know, 6 inches down, something like that. Okay. So our next layer is going to be the daffodils. And let's see, I have 25 Thalia daffodils. So I'm going to just split them up between these. So let's see, we've got 1 daffodil bulbs. You can see, oh, I forgot to show you that. I'm so sorry. I'll show you in the other one. Daffodil bulbs are usually much bigger than tulips, I find. So let's see what we can get in here. I just want to divide these up between the two. That bulb, all right, this is a good example. This doesn't usually happen to me at all with color blends or with lawn field gardens or Eden. This bulb does not look viable. If you see something that doesn't look good, just toss it. It's not worth it. It'll only infect the other things. So let's get these guys in. All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll do 12 here. We'll do 13 in the other one. How's that? All right, let me stop for a minute and show this to you. Hang on. Take my gloves off a minute. This is my daffodil layer. So these are the Thalias. So we're going to cover those. And then we're going to add in our Iris Reticulates. So we sort of have an early layer with the irises. We have a mid layer with the Thalia daffodils. And we have a late layer with our French blend rose tulips. So let's get going. Finish this off. I'm going to do them both the same. I want to make sure I'm going to leave a little lip around the top so I have room for watering. Okay. And then the irises are much smaller, and there's only 12 in here. So we'll pop these guys in here. Same deal, okay? Pointy side up, root side down. So let's just pop these in randomly around. Actually, do I want them on the outside? All right, now these are going to come up first. So, and don't worry, the things below will just push up. Don't even worry about it. Okay. Okay, those are in. Now I'm going to give it a handful of bulb tone again, and I'm going to cover these up. It's really that simple. Okay. And then I'm going to water these really good after I move them. Not before, because they'll be too heavy. So we're going to leave, you know, a lip around the top, at least an inch, so we have some room to water. Lasagna planting done. Okay. French blend rose. I'll find a little tag for these guys and the Thalias. All right, let's get the other one planted, and we're going to do it exactly the same. Let's move this out of the way while we can still lift it. Again, I'm going to put the netting in the bottom. Like I said, I don't know if this will work or it won't work, but we're going to try it. We're going to put some repellent down. I'm going to add some, can't keep my hair out of my face, should put it up. If anybody tells you gardening is neat and you're always looking pretty, they're full of crap. All right, let's put some stuff in the bottom there. Try and keep the critters, try and keep the dirt from falling out more than the anything else. Okay, got that. Let's get some dirt in here. See if we can lift this bag at this point. This was the container soil that I could find at this point. We couldn't find any espoma, so this is what we're using. Okay, so again, we've got our bottom layer for our tulips. Let's throw in a handful of bulb tone. Okay, let's get tulips in there. Oh, I just realized, I screwed something up. I just realized I had 2 packages of these, so I'm going to go back and fix that one. That's what you get for trying to shoot video at the same time that you're doing something. Okay, let's get the tulips in. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Hopefully, guys, I counted the other batch correctly. All right. And I'm actually even going to throw a drop more of stuff in there. Okay, let's get this covered. I can't believe I forgot that I bought 4 bags of those irises. It was an impulse buy. I just decided at the last minute to get them. Okay, so we've got our tulips. Let's get our Dahlias. So these are all going to go in here because I bought the Thalias just to put in here. So we're going to plant these around. Again, with the root side down, with the pointy side up. When we get done, we'll water these containers really well. Okay, let me show you this. Sometimes they've already started, daffodils naturalize, and I'll probably try to save these bulbs at the end of the season. But sometimes they're already, split like that. Okay, so we've got those guys in. Let's cover those up. Nope, let's throw another handful of bulb tone in there. Let's cover these guys. Okay. And our last layer will be the irises. There are a lot of bees around today, guys. I'm trying to be careful. I've already been stung twice this season. Not looking to do it again. Okay, there's 1, 2. Buckle my shoe. 3, 4. Close the door. Okay. Let's get these guys all in, and then I'll have to go fix the other one because I screwed that up. All right, again, no rhyme or reason, just popping them in, pushing them all the way around and pushing them in. Again, pointy side up. All right, I think we're good. Let's cover these. Oh, again, we'll do a little thing of bulb tone, and then let's just cover these. You can see behind me here, I still have Verbena bonariensis around all over the place. Actually, I find even if I pull it, it self-seeds really rapidly. It's a plant that I don't mind doing that. I love it. And this is a tall one. It's not a low one. All right, we're all done. I'm gonna get these watered. I'm gonna go back and fix the other one, and then let me show you. I want to show you one more thing. Let me go over here a minute. Okay, because my phone is just about out of power. So here is an elephant ear that I have in a container. It's going to stay in the container. So thank you for watching. I will try to post more when we're digging the tulips or planting the tulips this weekend. I'm just going to have my husband help me. It's so much quicker for him to use the auger, and I'll just pop them in. It's 1, 2, 3. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit that like button, and please leave me your comments. Tell me what you want me to talk about. I've got some other projects that I'm going to do. I still have a lot of things to cut down, and I really want to get this Solomon seal thinned out a little bit today. So see you soon.